Weather Words with Frank Ward is brought to you by The Reporter, Delaware County's leading news source.
Good day to everybody, and actually it is. After I talked to everybody on Thursday, it turned out to be an okay day. We got to 52 degrees. What was left of the snow piles and things sort of melted away. There were still some piles left in the backyard. And we started picking up branches, and you heard chainsaws running in the distance and everyone trying to clean up. But the really good day of the week, it was Friday. I call it let there be light and then clean up. We got our power back at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it made you realize how dependent we are on power. The first thing I did when it came on was go in and push the button on my coffee machine and let it make some real coffee while I was out rolling up extension cords, dragging all the generators and things back where they belong. And it took most of the morning to clean up. But at least I had the generators. The great big one kept all my freezers completely frozen, so I didn't lose anything. I know even across the street, people lost $800 worth of meat, and people were talking about how expensive it was. The one good thing about all that, Walton got power after a day. So if you ran out of fuel or were getting low, you could get in your car and get down, refuel, and come back and keep the generators running. I have a friend over in Franklin. He uses a kerosene heater to heat the house when things aren't going well. Well, he only had 5 gallons of kerosene. He says he's never spent 3 colder nights in his house in his whole life. He and his son are bundled up and everything inside. He had electric for his stove, so he had to build a fire outside even to heat water. He says, I don't want to go through that anytime soon. I said, oh, you're telling me. We have some people that had nothing. I also know a person that owns a big farm over in Franklin. They spent $2,000 in diesel fuel to keep all the generators running to keep the farm functioning. And he says, well, that's $2,000 I don't have for what it was planned for. It became a very expensive kind of thing. The people that actually restored our power were from a different service company. It was called Northeastern Electric. I want to give them credit because they drove up the driveway here just to make sure the lines were fine and said, well, if we don't find any more damage down the line, you'll have your power in about a half an hour. And in a half an hour, guess what? We had power. But he looked at me and goes, what's the matter with some of these people? And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you couldn't get a civil word out of some people's mouth of what they were saying to us about where's my blank, blank, blank power and everything else. He goes, I've been out for 2 days fixing lines and everything else, Sometimes we need to be considerate about the people trying to restore it and keep our manners. I don't know, some of that seems to have gotten lost. But anyway, we warmed up to 58 on Friday. Saturday, it was 62, and that was wonderful. But no one can complain about yesterday. It took a little while for the clouds to part. The sun came out. We went up to 74 degrees yesterday. I got my first sunburn. I'd take this off and show, well, you can still see some of it. It really did. I got a sunburn because we spent the entire day outside cleaning up everything, including things across the logging trails and things in the woods. And I cleaned my barn. Okay, things that would have been done for 4 days if we had had the 4 days to do it. And actually put the things in the garden that needed to go in. Okay, spring is here. I even, if Lillian can show you, mowed part of my lawn. However, I can't go any farther than that because it's so soggy over there, I'd probably bury my lawnmower. We're still draining about all this. Now, on Saturday, we got 1/100th of an inch of precipitation. But that brings the total so far for this month to 6.45. Normal's 4. Okay, so we're almost 2.5 inches over. And then I've got some bad news for what's up and coming. I hate to say this. Enjoy what you have today, because the first cold front comes through tonight. And that's not only going to start dropping the temperature, but probably about 11 o'clock tonight and into early tomorrow, we're going to get some more rain, just what we need, something else to run off the hill. But anyway, the second cold front comes through Tuesday afternoon. And then I hate to tell you what you might actually see. It's going to start raining again, but you might actually see snow showers on Wednesday morning early and a daytime high in only the upper 30s. And it's going to get windy. Don't put away the heavy coats yet and put on a hat and everything else, because you know what? For 2 days, we're going to be way below normal. It's going to get back into the mid 40s or thereabouts, maybe a little higher than that on Thursday. Come the weekend, we'll be back at daytime highs in the 50s, but we're also going to have 2 nights there, Wednesday night and Thursday night, where we're going to probably have temperatures in the mid to upper 20s at nighttime. Okay, is that unusual? Not really, but you know what? We get 2 nice warm days, and look what Mother Nature does to us a couple days later. I hope spring is really going to get here. I mean, some things are blooming and it's very nice. But driving over to Franklin to visit my friend, almost everyone that had white birch trees, they were a disaster. In fact, we cut 3 down up the roadway here. And people's lilac bushes that have been around in some cases for over 100 years, a bunch of them were crushed flat, snapped off. Anyone that had pine trees, there's piles of branches in front of everybody's lawn of pine things that came down. And there really was a lot of damage. Like I said, let's hope we're not going to get much more of that. Let spring get here and stay. I certainly hope so. We'll talk to you again on Thursday, and we might actually be in a special location on Thursday. We'll wait and see. So until then, have a good week.
To sponsor Weather Words with Frank Ward, call 607-464-4009.